Hello, Pickleball for Lifers. Thanks for joining us on this video. Jess Reynolds, great personal trainer for pickleballers everywhere. Sanjay Saint, pickleballer. Jess, on this video, can you talk to all of us about improving hip mobility and doing things to prevent low back pain?
Yes, for sure. Lower back pain is so common, and a lot of times we don't always know why our back is aching. There are common reasons, and then there are more complex. We're gonna, in this video, address the common reasons why people have aches, or maybe like a weak lower back, where you wake up in the morning that's like, ugh. Okay, so that would be core, hip mobility, and glute strength, and that's what we're gonna address in this video. So we're gonna start with some hip mobility exercises, and you do want to have something to help you stabilize yourself when you do this, okay? Starting with neutral posture, shoulders stacked right over the hips, stomach strong. Keep your chest and your belly button facing forward. Lift up that left leg and make some circles out to the side. 1, 2, good. And you're going to do about 8 to 10 of those, and then you're going to switch directions, keeping the body still. 2, 3.
It's kind of hard.
I know. It's hard if you haven't done it before.
Okay, so then we would do the left side, and then we would do the right side. Okay.
So you do that on both sides, and then from there, we're gonna further activate the muscles in your hip. So again, full body is just stationary. You just have to put a little bit more weight on the right foot. Keep your left toe facing forward, knees straight, out to the side. Just hold it briefly, and down with control. You might find yourself going like this, rotating your toe. You do want to avoid that. And if you are doing that, you probably need to do a little bit less range of motion. You also might find yourself kicking forward. Same thing, you're just trying to go too far. So you do about 10 of these, and you're going to feel these muscles here nice and active. If they're super weak, they're probably going to burn a little bit. And then you switch to the other side and do the same thing. And then from there, we're gonna do what's called Spider-Man hip mobility. And Sanjay's gonna show you one version, I'm gonna show you another. So why don't you do the one from your knees, and I'll do the straight leg.
Yeah,
okay, so you're gonna have to go down to the floor and walk the hands out. I'm gonna start in a plank. I'm gonna bring my right foot forward. My right toe is facing straight ahead. My right heel is down. My foot is as close to the side of my body as I can get it. Try not to be way out here. Everybody's different. From there, you're gonna push this right knee away from the midline, lift the chest, feeling a stretch on the inside of the right groin, and sometimes in the front of the left. Hold for 5 seconds, and then this foot goes back. Bring the other one forward. Lift the chest, left knee goes away from the midline, your hips drop down, trying to keep the back straight. If you've never done this before, you might be in this position doing this. If so, just put that knee down and do it from kneeling. So there's a lot of ways to adapt this. This is how you would do it from kneeling. And then from there, we're gonna do some hip circles, getting the hips moving. We start in table pose, hands straight down from shoulders, knees straight down from hips, core engaged, neutral spine, which is ear, shoulder, hip. Take that right knee out to the side a few inches without leaning, and then make little circles, medium-sized circles forward, keeping the core super strong, and medium circles back. Holding everything else still by keeping that core tight. Okay, so from here, we're gonna continue with some glute and upper leg stretches. So we're gonna do the standing groin stretch. Some might want to have a little support in the front. You're gonna set that up right in the middle, okay? So you can put both hands on it. And I'm gonna show without support, and from the side, Sanjay's gonna show with support from the front, okay? So your feet are a little wider than shoulder width apart. You're gonna bend the right knee and straighten the left leg. Your hips will go back. Your knee does not go forward of your toe. It can be lined up, but for the sake of this stretch, we want it back of the toe. And then you're gonna stay low, straighten the right knee, bend the left, And each time you switch directions, you're gonna feel the stretch. So if here I feel it in the left groin, I bend my left knee, straighten the right, and I feel it in my right groin. And you can hold for 5 seconds, stay low, hold for 5, stay low, hold for 5. And then from there, we're gonna focus on these hip flexors. So we're going down to kneeling. We're gonna have our right knee down and our left knee up. So when your right knee is down, the focus is on this right hip flexor, okay? So you're nice and straight, and the first thing you're gonna do is tuck your tush under, and then you're gonna start to feel this stretch right in below the hip. Squeeze your glutes, reach your right hand up, and some people do feel off balance when they do this. I should have shown you that from the beginning. Reach the right hand up, and then slight side bend to the left. You're gonna feel a nice stretch up the front of the right side. You can hold that for 45 seconds and repeat on the same side.
That's good. Wow, it feels great.
Oh, good. From here, we're stretching the front. We've done both sides, and we're gonna shift to downward facing dog, which focuses on the posterior chain from your glutes all the way down to your calves. So you can start from your knees, hands shoulder width apart, feet shoulder width or a little bit wider. Straighten those knees and send your tush toward the ceiling. You can walk your toes forward if it feels like it's the right amount of stretch. And each time you exhale, you're gonna let those heels drop toward the floor. Your heels do not have to be on the floor for this. Everybody's different. Breathe in and breathe out. And then from this, we are gonna come down and go to seated glute stretch. So you're gonna sit tall with both feet straight out in front of you. We're gonna cross the left leg over the right. Now, a lot of times when people do this, immediately they go into a C with their spine. So what you're gonna do, if you feel yourself doing that, you're gonna take this left hand and use it to support you, to push you to straight, okay? You're gonna take your right hand and grab the outside of the left knee, pull that knee towards your right shoulder, sitting tall, and you're gonna feel a stretch in the left glute. Hold for 45 seconds, and then we'll repeat on the other side. Crossing over, reaching around, grab that leg, pull towards the shoulder, using the opposite hand to sit really tall. You almost want to feel like you're sticking your tush toward the back of the room to get a really nice stretch. Hold for 45.
This is a great stretch.
Yeah. One thing to do to check is just keep the chest, belly button, and shoulder all facing forward. Try not to twist, okay? Okay, so from here, we're gonna go into face down quad stretch, focus here. So you're gonna be laying down. You're gonna take your left hand, reach back and grab the top of the shoelaces on the left foot, or you can use a towel if you have trouble reaching that foot. That's step one, bringing the foot as close to the tush as you can. Step two, push the knee away from the hip. Even if it doesn't move, just get that concept in your mind to lengthen the leg. Squeeze the tush for step three, and tuck the tail for step four. Hold for 45 seconds, and then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so after you've stretched out your legs and sort of mobilized your hips, we now want to work on strengthening the core. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is a general reason why people have back pain. So we're going to start with 2 types of plank, and remember the plank. During the plank, you want to reinforce neutral posture. So the first plank is a straight arm plank, or some people call it a high plank. When you do this, go through the checklist: ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle in a nice straight line. Try not to let yourself have an arch in your lower back or a rounded upper back. Everything is straight. You can hold this. I mean, people hold this for 8 hours, but you can start with 30 seconds.
Who holds this for 8 hours?
The world record holder.
Wow.
Yeah. If you start to feel your back, one knee down. If you still feel your back, both knees down. Draw that navel in to activate your core. Let's move on to the next exercise, which is a forearm plank. So this is a low plank, same idea and same concept. Neutral posture, check in with your lower back and your upper back, draw your navel in. If you have lower back pain, one knee down, still have pain, both knees down. Hold for 30 seconds and build yourself up to 60. Okay. Next we're gonna go into Bilateral Turtle. Okay, so it's got the weirdest name, but it's really great for getting connection to this lower part of the core, which is very important for protecting the back. So start laying down with both feet out. Take your left hand and meet the top of the right knee. You're gonna bend your right knee at 90 degrees. Now the focus here is driving this right knee up. Okay, as soon as you drive that right knee up, you're gonna resist with your left hand and you're gonna feel these muscles right below the belly button firing away. Hold for 5, 4, really drive, 3, 2, 1, down and bring the other one up, same thing. Drive that knee, resist with the arm, big space between ear and shoulder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're gonna repeat that on each side 5 times. And you should really feel the core, the lower core activating. From there, we're gonna do our lower body hold. And this is a progression, starting with knees bent. You're laying on your back. You're checking in with the entire torso. The whole spine should be neutral. There is a natural curve to the spine, but if you have a big arch right here, you've got to tuck it under and activate so that you're holding it neutral. If this feels easy, straighten the knees, draw that navel in. If it still feels easy, lower a few inches and find the spot where you can really activate down here. You don't have to go down here. This is really about connecting with this lower part of the core. And you hold for 45 seconds and then come down. If your back ever activates, just bend your knees. Sometimes people, when they start, it's just like this, because they don't have that recruitment. So just make a change. Don't push through the back pain. From there, we're gonna grab our mini bands. We're gonna take these bands, we're gonna put around the legs above the knees, and we have 2 exercises focused on strengthening the glutes. So first thing you're gonna do is go down, and we're just gonna do a basic bridge with our mini bands. So your feet are shoulder width apart, and you push out against the band. Before you start anything, you just create resistance against the band. Make sure your lower back is neutral. So if you have an arch here, you have to lengthen that, tighten the core, push through the heels, lift up your tush, and hold this bridge while pushing out against the band. You're gonna hold for 30 seconds, and then come down, rest for 5, go back up for another 30. You wanna repeat that 3 times. And the final exercise is the clam bridge, a very similar exercise. Your feet and knees are together. When you start this one, you push through your heels and lift, making your bridge, making sure as your knees go apart against the resistance of the band that your hips don't drop down. Your feet are fully connected to the floor during this one. Bring your knees in, back to your base position, knees out, hold for 1001, back to base, 1001, back to base, and down. When you do your mini band exercises, our target is just to really feel those glutes firing.
That's terrific, Jess. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.